Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm so glad that you joined me on the show today. We have a great show planned for you as always. But I'm going to tell you, as I said, this month is about being intentional. And it's all about knowing what you want to do, what God has planted in your life, and what He's given you, those visions that He's given you, and how you can be intentional about carrying all those plans out. But more importantly, you have to pray. The other thing that I want to say is that, as we're going through all that we are in our country, we've got to make sure that we pray for everyone. Keep our country in your prayers and praying for those folks out in California. They don't hear about it as much, but they're still going through recuperating, reviving, trying to figure out how they're going to live through the loss of their homes and through the fires and all. So please keep them in your prayers, okay? It's a great day today. It's snowing outside, and it's almost like you want to say, well, it snows at Christmas, but guess what? It snowed this week here in South Carolina. And what a beautiful sight to see all the snow. And I hope you had a chance to play out in the snow as well. Okay, we're talking about Talk with Tammy. That's what this segment is about. But folks, this is National Achieving a Balanced Life Month. It's National Thank You Month. So I'm going to be talking about that, and I have some questions from some viewers that sent in some dynamic questions, and I'm going to delve into that when we come back. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because we'll be right back. The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. Congratulations, Michael. Listen, if you saw the commercial earlier, The Color of Music in Charleston, South Carolina, February the 3rd through the 5th. What a fantastic time to see all of those African-American composers and musicians play. Tell you, so it's a wonderful, wonderful sight to see. And Michael, you're getting ready to head to the Grammys. So guess what? Grammy nominee is heading to the Grammys, Dr. Michael Finkley. We congratulate you, and wish you the best. Bring it on back home, Michael. All right. So, we've been talking about this month, and this is Talk with Tammy. Viewers have sent in some questions, but more importantly, this is National Getting a Balanced Life Month. That means achieving. How do you achieve a balanced life? And also National Thank You Month. So people have been writing me and asking, say, okay, Tammy, let's talk. You're always talking about what is it that we need to be doing to get a balanced life. So when we talk about what does balance mean to me in the context of work, what that means for me is that I need to intentionally take time to plan out my day, plan out what this is that I need to be doing, the tasks that I have to do, And then how am I going to do that? I've got to take breaks. I've got to take time to say, okay, Tammy, if you're working on this particular project right now, you have this other project to do, then take a few minutes to do this, or it may be an hour, or it may even be 2 hours, but you stop in between to give yourself a chance to refresh. What does refresh mean? Refresh means that I get up, walk around, whether it's here at home, when I am working remotely, whether it's in my office, may walk down the hall, go to the restroom, go outside, stand outside, get some fresh air. Whatever that means that I'm balancing. I'm trying to balance. Then I come back and work on the second part of whatever that other task is and spend maybe an hour or so to do that. But it's all for me. It's all about making sure that I take time to give myself that refresh moment and relax. Okay. How do you prioritize your time when balancing your career with your personal life? Well, I'm gonna tell you, that's a hard one. That's a very, very hard one. So when you talk about prioritizing my time and balancing, I do have to take time. Now, as I'm talking to you folks, I am talking to myself. I always say this because I'm telling you something that I'm doing. Hopefully it may help you, but I'm talking to you so that it can help me. So when it comes to that time, I usually write down what I have to do every day. So today, I have to write down what's going to be happening tomorrow or what I see as plans that I have for tomorrow. So that means checking my calendar, making sure that I'm going to be on time for meetings, making sure that I have agendas planned out, making sure that I have whatever plans are that need to be done. Now, when we say when balancing your career with your personal life, well, folks, let's guess what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have what you call a big personal life. Yes, I have my daughter. I go visit her. We talk on the phone periodically, really just about every day. But when you talk about my personal life, I love to read. I love great shows. I love to write. So in my personal life, that's what I'm doing. I may go shopping, but shopping is not one of those things that I used to do when I was a young person out here buying shoes, buying this, buying that. No, no, no. We're talking about going to the grocery store. Hello, somebody. Buying the necessities and taking time to do that. That's part of personal life. Maybe I'll go to a restaurant. Yes, I'll go by myself because I'm not married anymore. I don't have a significant other. So yes, I spend time by myself, and I love spending time by myself. I may sit out on my balcony and just read, watch the cars go by, whatever. But it's just taking that time. And so when you talk about prioritizing, that's the beauty of it. Learning how to prioritize, learning to know what you have to do when you have to do it. Now, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to interject something right here. When we talk about that personal time and prioritizing, sometimes I don't do a good job at that. You know why? Because I'm always on go. My mind is always on go. I don't sleep well because I have insomnia, but we're working on that with my physicians. So when I take that time, I have to look at what's most important. That's the priority of what I need to be doing at that particular time and what that is going to achieve. What goal is that going to achieve? Who is it going to help? And more importantly, how is it going to affect me? Because lately I've been ill. And and as my spiritual mom would tell me, and my aunt Zelda would tell me, hey, you got to rest your body. You got to stop because I'm always up and down the highway, y'all, every day. All right. And I love to drive. And that's another thing. So that kind of helps me as well. That gives me that balance. All right. The next question is, what are some practical tips you've used to maintain emotional and mental balance during stressful times? Well, during those stressful times, you know what I do? Get on my knees and pray. You know, I've been watching Touched by an Angel lately. And there's a song that says, get on your knees and pray. And I'm always on my knees and I'm always praying. And that's important to me. My prayer life is very important to me. And when you talk about emotional and mental balance, that's where it comes from. Because anytime I feel stressed, or when I say, uh-oh, what's happening here? Get me off the ledge. You know how you can talk yourself off the ledge, or you call somebody and say, hey, girl, I need you to talk me off the ledge. Well, a lot of times I'm talking to myself and I'm saying, okay, God, what is it that I need to be doing? How do I get myself off of this ledge? And how do I get myself back in balance? How do I get my body back in equilibrium? And that's important to me. How do I get my mind back in equilibrium? So I'm just going to say that practical tip for me. I love the Lord. Let's pray. All right. The next question comes is, how do you deal with guilt when taking time for yourself while balancing responsibilities to others? Oh, that's a big one. If anybody knows me, you know that I can't say no, right, Willie? It's hard for me to say no. And when I do, yes, I do feel guilty. Now I'm being transparent because sometimes I say, oh, well, I really could have done that. But then I've got to look at it. And now as I'm maturing, I've got to look at it and say, you know what? Think about what's most important for you and for your health. If you're stressed and you can't do it, how are you going to be able to help others? How are you going to be able to balance and keep yourself going for others? That's hard. And yes, I feel guilty sometimes because there are people that I really want to help all the time. But sometimes I just can't do it because I don't have the bandwidth to do it. And so I've got to get to that point, and this is where that tip comes. That's self-love. This is also National Self-Love Month too. But I've got to get to a point, folks, where I can say to myself, and I tell myself, okay, Tammy, you can only do one thing at a time. Like they tell you, you can bite an elephant, but we're not going to eat any elephants right now. But that's a saying, folks. One chunk at a time. So even an apple, one chunk at a time. You can't do everything at the same time. And you can't be all things to all people all the time. Now, as I said, as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to who? To me. All right. All right. Now it says, what do you believe true balance is a constant state, or is it more about finding harmony during different life stages? Woo! Thank you for that question, Ashley. Oh my God, that's a good one. So when you talk about true balance being a constant state, it has to be. You have to constantly think about it. You have to constantly be aware of what's happening in your life. You have to constantly understand that you can't do everything, because if you're out of equilibrium, I'm going to tell you this, and I learned this the hard way. And recently, if you're out of equilibrium, your body's out of equilibrium, your mind is not in sync. And so you're not balanced. You're out of sync, you're out of balance. And more about finding that harmony during different life stages. So different life stages to me means at 25, which I still am, hello, somebody, hello, when you are at a certain age in your life, and there are certain things that you go through. Each life stage is different. So you're going to find that harmony in your system, or in your way. You're going to find it. And so now you have to say, each time in your life stage, that I'm going to balance. I'm going to be in harmony. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to do the things that I need to do to keep myself at bay. I'm going to do the things that will keep myself from being so stressed. I'm going to do the things that are going to keep myself from being sick. All right. So those are some of the things about achieving a balanced life and how I do it. I'm just being transparent, folks. I am not perfect. Nobody is. And so I'm hoping that this will help somebody. But listen, we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about National Thank You Month and what that means to me. All right. Be right back.
Welcome The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
Hey, you're watching The Tammy Show. And remember to keep it cool with me, AC.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, I'm so glad that you could join us. And if you're just joining me, this is about Talk with Tammy. You know, I always have people asking me questions about how do I do this? How do I do that? And I thought it would be great for me, maybe once a month or bi-monthly or however, to do a Talk with Tammy. Willie knows me. I love to talk. And so, yes, I learned this from my late brother, South Carolina State Representative, the former South Carolina State Representative, David Mack, when he left me all alone and I had to talk on the radio by myself as the co-host of the PM Urban Edition. But anyway, I digress, because now this gives me an opportunity to kind of talk to myself while I'm talking to you about some of the things that are important. I do want to mention, though, that this show is pre-recorded. If you're listening to it and you're watching it, if you're making comments, we will respond to you, but we'll respond after the show. And now, when I said about balancing, Willie, didn't I say that? That was one important thing for me that I needed to do, which was take time for me and to balance out. And balancing out meant what? Do pre-recordings. That way I'm not rushing. I'm in the studio. I'm still going to the studio, but I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing trying to get there and trying to, and just feeling so exacerbated. Now I'm kind of relaxed. All right. Now, National Thank You Month. You know, last year was all about being grateful. I have a couple of questions that viewers have sent. Do you keep a gratitude journal? Yes, I do. How has it helped you gain perspective on your life? Well, it has, because every time I go back and I look and I thank God, I said, God, I thank you. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for a place to live. Thank you that I'm in a warm place, especially today. When you talk about 14-degree weather, 19-degree weather in South Carolina, yeah, I'm grateful. And so I go back and I look at that, and that puts so much into perspective for me, because guess what? It could have been me. I don't know if you all ever heard that song by Walter Hawkins. Could have been me. Okay. And it could have been me. And so I am so grateful. And that is what happens and how I've gained my perspective in life about being grateful for the little things, the small things, not the big things, because we all can thank God for the big house, the big car, the big this, the big that. But when we tell God, thank you for just being here and being able to wake up each morning and praise his holy name and say, God, I thank you for another day that I can see, that I can brush my teeth, that I can comb my hair. Don't have a lot of it, but I can comb my hair. I can put on makeup or not put on makeup. I have glasses to wear so that I can see. Thank God for the little things, just the things that you don't see. How do you practice gratitude in your daily routine, and how does it impact my life? Well, same thing I just finished saying. I thank God every day. I practice gratitude by thanking God for the things that are unseen, the things that he's done, the things that he continues to do, and things that he did in the past. I thank him because he watched out for me and he continues to send his angels. And I thank him for that. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I tell people all the time, I'm grateful for them, my friends, my family. I'm grateful. I am grateful. And so I'm just grateful. I am just so grateful. And so that's how I'm able to do that. It says, how can gratitude improve our relationships with others? Well, you tell people you're thankful. Every time I end this show, I always say, call somebody on the phone. Pick up the phone, call somebody, go knock on the door, say, hey, how can I help you? And I'm grateful for you. I thank you. I call my friends in California and all over the country, all over the world. And I said, listen, I just want to tell you, I'm grateful for you. I thank God for you. And we've got to do that. And that is inspiration for us. It's inspiration for them, because then you pass it on. Each one, teach one. And it keeps going on, keeps going on, keeps going on. What advice would you give to someone who struggles with finding gratitude during tough times? I go back to my old adage. If you are Christian, like I am, I'm going to pray. I'm just going to ask God to give me what I need when I need it, and that he's going to be right there with me, and he's going to send his angels to help me. Sometimes that's harder for people because they say, well, some people will ask, is there a God? For those that don't know. And all I can tell you is, are you walking? Are you talking? Are you breathing? So where do you think that comes from? There is a God. Hey, all right now. Don't get 2 snaps and a circle. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. So when you're struggling with your tough times, sometimes you have to go in your secret place, in your secret closet, and you just have to give it all. Just give it all up. And I'm telling you this because I've done it. I did it years ago. I was in a dark place, and I remember telling God how much I needed him. And I remember, just like it was yesterday, I've seen 3 angels in my lifetime that have visited me. And I am not telling you a lie. And I remember this one time in a dark place, I said, God, if you just take this away from me, if you just help me, I promise you, I will do whatever it is you want me to do. And I remember saying that. I remember like a hand touched me to calm my nerve. And I knew then, and I looked around, and there was just a light. I'm not going to say a person. It was just a light around me. And at that time, I knew that God said, it's going to be all right. So when you're having a tough time, you're struggling, hey, listen, just give it up to God, because he loves you and he'll be right there. I can't say anything else than that. And I go back to my scripture. Be anxious for nothing in all things through prayer, supplication, and with thanksgiving. Make your requests be made known unto God, and the peace that surpasses all understanding will guide your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4. All right, come on now. That's it. That's all. That's it. What advice would you give to someone? So I went over that one. But in your opinion, how does gratitude influence mental and physical health? Well, if you're grateful, and I'm just going to say this quickly, if you're grateful and you know, you just know what you know. If you are grateful, that mental health and that spiritual health, child, you be doing this. Hey, you'll be ready. Your physical health will be intact. Your mental health will be intact. Because anytime you know what you know. And when I say that, I mean, you know that God has done it. And I can't do anything else but say, God, I thank you. When you talk about thank you month, to me, it's thanking God. I can't do anything else but thank God. So I'm just, again, thank you month to me is about being grateful and thanking God for all he has done. Now, some of you think I'm going to be preaching. I'm not preaching. I'm just telling you up. I'm just giving you the facts because I'm a Christian. And that's what we're supposed to do, especially in this day and time. We've got to pray for our country. And I'm telling you, if you're not a praying person right now, you need to be, because there's a lot that's happening. There's a lot that's going to happen. And the only way we're going to get through it is we're going to have to give it up to God and let him handle it. All right. So I can't say anymore. I know if my daughter, she's probably watching, she said, okay, there goes my mama. That's my mama. That's what my mama is saying. But, I want to give you some advice, and I'm just going to say this quickly. Remember, when you are in a place where you've never been before, and it's dark, it's lonely, and you feel that you don't have anybody or anything around you that can help you, sometimes you just got to close your eyes, and you got to say, God, just be with me. Just touch me right now. Send your angels. If you don't even believe in angels, but believe me, there are angels that entertain us every day on earth. Just close your eyes and say, God, I need you. That's it. God, I need you. With that said, I'm ending the show. Yes, Willie, come on in here for a second. Hey, Willie.
Hello, everybody.
All right, I just want you to say thank you. Something for thank you month. What are you thankful for?
This might be like cliche, and a lot of people say this a lot of time, but life, health, and strength. Life, can be taken away like a snap.
Right.
Just this year, I've been to 2 funerals, and I've heard about 3.
That's right.
Just this year. Well, actually 4.
Yeah.
So, you can't take life for granted. Health, definitely, because I just got over a little bug back in December, even though I don't like to admit when I'm sick, but but definitely thankful for that, and strength to be able to press on in the life that we have. So yeah. Life, health, and strength.
Life, health, and strength. And Willie, I do want to say thank you for all that you do. And I also want to thank our viewers and our friends around the globe, because I did just lose my Aunt Cindy. And for those of you that may have known her, Cynthia McCautry Smith, we lost her on January the 15th. And Aunt Cindy was my best friend, my confidant. She was like my mother. And we're moving through it. People say, well, she was 102 years old. Yeah, but guess what? She was still vibrant to the point that you would hear her talking. She'd tell you things. She'd pick up the phone and call you. But then her voice got silent because God knew that he needed her more than we needed her. And she had done what she did on this earth. And I am so grateful A lot of you know I've done profiles on my aunt, and I just want to take this time to do a tribute to her to say, Auntie, I love you, and I thank you. And Willie, I thank you and your family for praying for me as well, and your support in all that we do. Folks, this has been a great show. Again, it's been Talk with Tammy, and Willie joined us. So I want to thank you, viewers, for always tuning in. I also want to thank my guests that have been on, especially this year, the beginning of this year. And listen, we've got a great show planned for you next week. We got a great show coming on, a great guest coming on. And I want to thank you, Alicia, producer, associate producer, Willie Daniels, and Junior. And the second, as we say, isn't that right, Willie? Willie Daniels the second. The third. I'm sorry, the third. Sorry, the third. But listen, we want you to please subscribe to the Tammy TV show, the YouTube channel, because what we do, Willie, what do we have to do?
Got to hit that red subscribe button.
Red subscribe button. And as I want to remind folks today, let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. And I continue to say that. And Willie is right here with me. I want him to stay on till the end because we do this together. If it were not for him and his loving spirit and his family sharing him with me and all, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I'm able to do now. And so I'm thankful and I'm grateful, Willie. So again, it's all about being grateful. It's all about checking up on somebody. So be a blessing to that person. I want to thank you again for joining in, tuning in. If you have some information and if you want to be on the show or you know somebody who can be on the show that would be a great guest, go to info@tammymccotry.com. Hit us up. Let us know. Send that email. We'll be glad to get in touch with them and have them on the show. Take care of yourself. And until the next time, be safe, be warm, have fun out there in the snow. Love y'all. Bye.